So today we have Francesc Dominguez, if I pronounced your name correctly. So legal marketing and professional branding consultant, an expert, an author of 4 books on marketing with a humanistic approach. And today we are talking about personal branding for lawyers. So that's a little short introduction. Francesc, if you want to introduce, if you want to give more information about yourself, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on, and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I want to express my gratitude to the European Legal Tech Association and to Legit for their trust and the organization of this session. You know, the brand is a treasure that should be nurtured and strengthened. And in a firm where trust prevails, all lawyers, the CEO, partners, associates, etc., should work on their personal brand. First, by enhancing their self-awareness to search and find the best version of themselves, to reinforce their good name. And in doing so, they will build on the reputation of their firm, increasing its capacity to attract new clients. It is estimated that up to 48% of a company's reputation and financial performance can be attributed to the standing of its CEO. In short, intangible assets such as brand and reputation are also financial assets. So awareness is priceless. This is knowledge that can mark a watershed as it helps the professional to make a qualitative leap in their professional career, if they accept the challenge. Personal branding or personal development is discovering and learning about yourself, mastering your talents, and managing the brakes that can block or stall your career. So, what is a personal brand? The brand is the reason we are hired or rejected. A brand is the impression we have generated in the market with our actions. It is the mark we leave. This mark is the perception that people have of you, and this perception becomes their reality. It is the concept with which our clients or potential clients associate us with. Perception is what makes or breaks our business. We are our brand. The brand is you. It is therefore surprising how little or no attention lawyers and law firms pay to their brands, to their most important intangible assets. He who has a strong brand has a treasure that must be cared for and enhanced. So, who has a personal brand? You have a personal brand. In fact, we all have a personal brand because we all leave an impression, a mark on others. It just so happens that only a few of us actually have a well-positioned or a strong, prestigious personal brand. Managing your personal brand is not a sign of narcissism because it's not about popularity, but rather positioning in the market. Why is it important to develop your personal brand? Well, firstly, your personal branding can help you differentiate yourself in the marketplace. It seeks to communicate those singularities we all have and those which the market values. Secondly, it can also help to improve your role as a manager or as an employee. That said, it can help you build relationships with your colleagues, to develop team leadership skills, and overall to communicate or negotiate better. As someone said, a person's life is their image. We have to learn how to make people value that which no one else can copy from us: our personality, values, style, experience, even our attitude, skills, active listening and observation, client service, and contact capital. Everything else can be copied. For instance, the services we render. So differentiation comes with image. It is a decisive factor that cannot be copied. Either we are masters of our own image or we are a slave to the labels that others stick on us. That's why so many professionals are competent but not competitive. So what does personal branding involve? Your personal branding is your professional life insurance. To achieve a strong brand, it involves knowing and what we want, having willpower and the right attitude, being strategic and organized, and knowing how to communicate and sell or influence better than our competitors. Personal branding helps us be able to take control of our professional careers. It's about discovering the best version of yourself in order to serve others better. It's also about communicating the added value that you can bring to your targets appropriately. But how can you get your added value to be perceived? Well, through effective communication. What's more, personal branding helps you to be the protagonist of your professional career. Throughout your career, your personal brand is developed by maintaining a correct and consistent position or approach to the challenges we face, and through these challenges, we build essential strategies. The most recommended strategy for your personal branding is specialization or focus. The proof of this is that really successful people tend to be excellent in a single skill or competence. The smartest thing you can do in your professional career is to become the leading expert in a particular area of knowledge, regardless of the size or location of your firm. It's the question of having your own ideas and opinions and gaining relevant visibility in the marketplace. What we can see, therefore, is that personal branding is a cyclical strategy and tactical process. First, there is our analysis and our reflection, and then there are our actions honed by our tactics and brought about by the steady improvement of certain key skills. This continual training process allows us to learn how to generate more trust and perfect our commercial skills, which are essential for every professional. Personal branding involves being aware of how others perceive us, to know what we should avoid doing. This involves knowing yourself and not only who you are, but also who you want to be. Furthermore, this involves managing the credibility we have in the market, our reputation, that is escaping from the symbolic prison in which many professionals who do not manage their reputation are trapped. Essentially, everything depends on our reputation, which is why it is so surprising that the vast majority don't manage or care for it, or don't even defend it with the utmost and constant care. In summary, a strong personal brand helps build trust. The foundation of that trust is integrity and competence as a professional. Therefore, the more trustworthy the brand, the less sales effort is required. Let's focus on your personal branding steps. What are the steps to manage your personal brand? From my point of view, there are 5 steps. The first is the analysis one. The second, the definition of the key foundation of your brand. The third phase of the process is the definition of objectives. The fourth phase is the definition of strategies to achieve the objectives. And the last one is your personal brand plan in accordance with your target market. The first stage in personal branding is crucial and consists of an analysis and diagnosis, that is, on an understanding of what the lawyer can enhance and what he needs to avoid or lessen to find their better version as a professional. And on that basis, and only then, communicate the brand, convey its differential advantages to potential clients, knowing how to create trust-based relations. Surprisingly, the vast majority of lawyers don't carry out this first stage. The analysis phase also includes developing self-knowledge, the analysis of your target market, and the drawing up of a training plan of those competencies or skills that you need to improve to help you achieve your goals. So, understanding who you are, what you want, what image you convey, which perception your different relationship circles have a view is essential. Knowing this helps you to take advantage of the strengths and qualities that make you stand out. This journey of self-discovery through developing self-knowledge is what serves to help you discover your brand. It is your starting point. And how do I carry out the self-knowledge process? In my case, I provide the client with a questionnaire, including around 25 questions about their personal brand. Example questions. How do you define yourself as a professional? What do you want from your career? What sets you apart from others? What are your strengths? What opportunities exist in your setting or environment that you can take advantage of? Where do you want to be in several years? Finally, your message. Please define your value proposition, that is, who you are targeting, what a potential client or target audience will gain by hiring you, and the reasons they should hire you instead of the competition. Additionally, I seek to know the perception that other people, such as colleagues, clients, friends, and relatives, have of the professional, using a method called 360-degree feedback. It is also essential to know what Google says about you to ensure you have a consistent brand. I can complement this analysis with other tools to better understand the personality, behavior, and communication styles of the professional, and learning how they develop their relationships. The second step of your personal branding is the definition of the key foundations of your brand. So your passion, your values, your mission, your purpose, in other words, what you want to do in your professional career, and also your vision, meaning your direction in the long term and where you want to be in the future. The third step of the process is the definition of objectives. And the fourth is the definition of strategies to achieve the objectives. For instance, who is your ideal target, your positioning proposal, how do you want to be perceived, what qualities or attributes, what word or words do you want your brand to be associated with, your added value proposition. So why should the potential client use your services? What benefits or added value do you bring? What problems can you solve? Ultimately, your value proposition is your core message to help you stand out. The fifth step is related to your personal brand plan. Your plan should be in accordance with your target market and should be relevant and reliable for companies or individuals with similar mentalities. This essential personal communication should be accompanied by an implementation schedule, control measures, and a review of what you have achieved with these actions. Let's talk now about the firm brand and your personal brand. It is essential that you work in a firm where you can develop your best version as a professional, as a lawyer. Boosting your personal brand also implies boosting the firm's brand and, by extension, any project you embark on. A powerful or prestigious personal brand acts as a magnet where people, projects, and opportunities are drawn to you. Your values, goals, and personal strategy should be aligned with those of the firm. What are the main mistakes to avoid in your personal branding? The main one is copying others. For instance, there are many professionals who, when creating a personal blog, try to imitate other professionals. This must be avoided at all costs, as you have to be authentic and original. Alternatively, if you don't want to have a blog or personal website, you can choose LinkedIn as your website, although keep in mind that it will not really be yours, but the provider's. Among current social networks, in my opinion, LinkedIn is the most recommendable for a professional. However, you should try to have a majority of potential clients, recommenders, or influencers as contacts, and not just colleagues. Another mistake is the lack of consistency in your personal branding. Then there is not mastering the communication language sufficiently. In fact, many people think they know how to communicate well, but what they really do is simply inform or give information. Other errors occur in the projection of a professional's personal brand. These include self-centeredness or promotion bordering on narcissism. Therefore, it is important to communicate selflessly, thinking only in terms of added value for potential clients and not about promoting your own ego. Doing it one way or another can lead to becoming popular or having a proper positioning, which is different. There are many professionals obsessed with being popular on social networks, thriving on recognition. However, is there anything wrong or inadvisable about wanting to be popular? The answer is no, as long as you don't develop the need to rely on others for your own self-esteem, but rather you project your admiration on others, not yourself. Please remember, personal branding is qualitative in both the offline and online environments. You should avoid overexposure or over-communication and the stress it can cause. Using those offline or online communication channels to bring you closer to where your target audience is, with relevant contents, thereby giving the prestige and the ability to influence. Let's come to an end. Some final thoughts. Personal branding is a complex process that should be carried out in a simple way. Without a personal branding strategy, you won't usually get very far. The development of a brand implies a conscious and intelligent management of the perceptions that you want to generate in the market. Personal branding is not the result of improvisation, but rather about sculpting your professional career without waiting for others to do or decide for you, by being proactive. Importantly, personal branding is not about empowering your individualism or feeding your ego, but about finding your best version to better serve others. The more you understand about yourself, the more you'll be able to shine as a professional. If you modify the perception of image you have created of yourself, you will gain security in what you are offering. Training will help improve your key skills, such as effective public speaking or gaining new clients more easily. Finally, your personal branding is a useful investment to boost or refocus your career. It is essentially the best investment you will make in yourself. So take good care of your personal brand and multiply the chances of gaining a rare treasure. Those who care for their brand have a rare treasure. What are your priorities starting today? Define them and act. No excuses. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francesc, for your speech. It was very interesting. And dear participants, please ask your questions. You can write it in the chat, or if you would like, I can unmute you and you can ask it orally. If someone has comments or would like to ask something like more or add something to the presentation, you are welcome. No questions so far. Guys, don't be so shy. You can just type your question.
Okay, maybe everybody is right. Oh. Did you enjoy the talk, guys? Oh my God, wow. You never know with questions and answers.
It was like we get one reaction, like applause. Probably you don't see it in the screen. Actually, even 2 hands Alihan, you can unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, it's unavailable to type in the chat part.
Oh my God, sorry, I will check the, but actually it's allowed for everyone.
And can I ask now, do you have any suggestions for students?
For students, yes, of course. Regardless of your age, you should have an own strategy for your professional development. Many people think that by training you've got a strategy, but it is not the case. You have to define your own objectives in the short, medium, and long terms, and to associate your personal brand, so that is to say you, with the type of organization where do you want to work as a lawyer. So please try to be very selective and define very well every step in your professional career. Thinking is a must before acting in the marketplace. Or taking action. Okay. Check the setting. Okay.
Yes, I changed the setting so everyone can ask question in chat. And I noticed there was 2 raised hands and one person has already asked his question, but I don't see other one. Probably there will be some questions in chat.
Well, in our professional career, there are at least two things or factors that only depend on us. The first one is our strategy. Many people don't have a strategy for their professional career. And the second one is the management of your relationships with people. So you can delegate many things during your professional career, but your strategy and the relationships you are going to have with people, from a point of view, should depend exclusively on you. Okay. Oh, do you think that your advice to practicing lawyers apply to in-house lawyers? Yes, of course. The personal branding applies for every type of lawyers. Because, for instance, in-house lawyers should manage very well their relationships within the firm and also their social prestige in the marketplace, because you never know. Maybe today you are very good at your organization, but tomorrow you're going to start having problems. So it's important that you manage your brand, that is to say, so your reputation. It's applicable to everybody, even for a civil servant. Imagine, for everybody, regardless of their age, but of course, mainly from the age of general 22, 23 onwards. Yeah.
The next question about will there be possible to get presentation and email? Actually, no, because there wasn't any presentation. It was Francesco free speech. But if you would like to get the LinkedIn stream, we recorded. So just please contact us at the legit email, and we will forward you link with recorded speech. So next question, would it be a correct choice to maintain 2 different websites, one personal and one for the law firm?
Yeah, it only depends on, it always depends on your strategy. In fact, everything should depend on your strategy. If these 2 actions, if these tactics, there is a difference between a strategy and tactics. Tactics are your actions. In general, people are only tactic, but the important thing is to be strategic and also tactic. So first, let's try to reflect on our actions before acting in the marketplace, taking action. So if these 2 actions are consistent with your strategy, so yes, you can do so. If they are not, so try to do other things. Yeah. For me
We hear-
personally,
Yeah, it's very interesting comment. So it's like a thank you words for you. And question, what do you think about Instagram as a social media course? Probably I understand correctly, SM.
yeah, well, it's the same. If it is consistent with your strategy and it is a relevant channel for your prospects, so you should use Instagram. From my experience in general, the most recommendable or suitable network is LinkedIn in general, but it also depends on your targets, where they are, and your strategy.
And next question is also connected with social media. Do you think TikTok is a social media suitable for lawyers?
With all due respect, for me, it's not an essential social or suitable social network, because, well, there are always exceptions, of course, but in general, the social perception of a lawyer is in general related to a more or less conservative way of doing. So a lawyer should control very well their messages. And from my point of view, it's better to rely on other social networks. But if your clients are active users of TikTok, so of course, you can try these social networks. Everything depends on the action of your clients, where they are. Okay.
Next question, probably what book is something that would help personal branding?
What book? Well, I've published a book on personal branding. It's published in English, in Spanish, and in some weeks also in French. And it's the lawyer's personal brand, boost your professional career. There is further information about this work on my website, on Francesc Dominguez.com.
Another question, is it possible to create the strategy by own, or should I hire a marketing specialist?
Well, if you've got talent to define and to draw up strategies, so you can try it. I recommend that you try to define your own strategy. It's very important. It's more important to have a strategy than don't have a strategy. But in general, it's important at least that you ask a professional in order to know what's their view about your strategy. Yeah.
So next question, don't you think that lawyers' work is still underrated in many firms, and this is the reason of losing expectation by young lawyer?
Sorry, I haven't seen this. What do you think?
Don't you think that lawyers' work is still underrated in many firms, and this is the reason of losing expectations by young lawyer?
Yeah, sure. You have to value your services, and a way of doing so is to charge the fees you deserve. So although it's a temptation to offer the clients low fees, it should be avoided at all costs from my point of view. People who try to compete on the basis of price or fees, they usually get trapped in their own trap. Okay. Trump.
So next question, would it be considered a personal branding choice, advertising in legal 500 or chambers, etc.?
Yeah, well, I'm not, well, it really works for a certain type of potential clients. It's also an indicator of a theoretically quality of a lawyer. But I think that it's also a way for lawyers to feed their ego, but it really helps your prospect or potential clients to try to perceive your added value, and it's better to be advertised on the legal 500 chambers or best lawyer than not to be advertised there, of course. But for me, always with some exception, is not the priority in the lawyer's personal branding. But I know that many in-house lawyers so value this advertising in these directories. Yeah.
Great. So another one, how should you define your specialization in order to avoid concerns that your scope of work is too limited to work on more complicated issues, or to avoid being perceived as expert on everything as well?
Yeah. So for instance, you can render services in different specialties of law, of course, but you should always have a key specialty, okay, in order to introduce your brand better in the marketplace. And if this specialty is very well promoted, more or better than the rest, that can be the source of new clients or new business for your personal brand or for your firm marketing. So if you try to be a leading expert in many specialties, I think you are not gonna achieve your objectives. So it's better that you render service in different specialties, of course, but that you only focus your social communication or through the media on one or two specialties, to be well recognized as a leading expert in these key one or two specialties, because human minds only give us the chance to be a leading expert in one or two specialties. So the first thing to know is how human minds work.
Thanks. Hi, what are the tips how to win the online marathon against big companies with big budgets?
Yeah, well, it's a very open question, but basically a strategy, a specialization, good services, clear ideas, be capable or able to work with relevant alliances in other countries or in your own country, and so on. Try to be very mobile, so not to be predictable, and of course reinforcing your personal brand and getting training in sales for lawyers, because personal branding helps you to be well positioned in the marketplace. But if you've got a well positioning, okay, so a good location in the marketplace, you also need to help your potential clients to hire your services. And you are only going to achieve these objectives or goal by stimulating their desire of hiring your services. Of course, from two bases. The first one is that you are a competent lawyer, and the second one is that you are an honest person, a good person. These are the bases as well, not only of a qualitative personal brand, but also of trust. Trust and a positive personal brand have the main basis: being a competent lawyer and a good person, an honest person.
We have to thank you, one participant who shared the website to your books. Very nice, thank you. And what are other questions? Do you think publishing in reputable academic journals can contribute to personal branding?
Yeah, of course, you should relate your personal brand, so you, with prestigious brands, not only academic journals, but also prestigious media or prestigious channels. So it's important, of course, because when you take part, for instance, in a conference held by a prestigious organization, so your personal brand raises to roughly approximately to the same level of the organization. So of course it's very important to think very well about where with who or with what you want relate your personal brand. For instance, you want to publish a book, please first think about the most prestigious publishing house. Okay, you will have time to go down if necessary. Okay.
Thank you, Francesc. For the moment, it's last question, but let's hope that guys will ask something more. Can you relate any specific legal tech tool out there to lawyers' personal branding?
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm not really a specialist in legal tech, so I think the answer in this case, Legit or ELTA have the right answer for this question. Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Guys, some more questions? Raise the hand if you would like to ask it orally. And people who send me the direct message about sending you link with recording, I will do it. If it will not be sent today, so tomorrow in first part of the day, I for sure will forward the link to you and you can rewatch it once again.
Yeah, just one comment, Maria. I very much appreciate to get in touch with people attending this conference on LinkedIn. So I suggest them to invite me to join their professional contacts. It will be a pleasure for me. And thank you.
If you don't mind, while you're answering another question, I will share your link here in a chat, link for your LinkedIn profile. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you, Alex. You already did it. So the question: writing in academic journal prove you are a researcher as well. Does it help? I mean, promoting your research skill. Can this help to personal branding that would turn leads to the clients?
Yes, of course. The only thing is that not necessarily in academic journals, but in journals, in the press. So always I insist on that. The important thing is that all the actions you are going to carry out are consistent with your strategy. If your potential clients or prospects are in a certain channel, you should be there. So all the contents should be consistent with your strategy and the needs and desires of your prospects. And by doing so, you'll get more close to your potential clients, and they will know that you exist, you'll gain visibility, and then chances or opportunities that them hire your services. So I insist on that, please. The important thing is your strategy, reflecting on that before carrying out your actions. To publish in academic journals or prestigious journals is important, of course, but these are tactics, these are actions. The key thing is first to define, to draw up your strategy. Okay, preparation is everything before carrying out your actions.
So no comments or more questions. Oh no, like exactly when I start to say it. Too many different social media use. You think is good or bad? Should we choose a low number of social media to use?
Yeah, I recommend just to use 1, 2, or 3 social media, because there is an eternal strategy that is based on concentration and focus. Okay, the temptation is to be active on many different channels or social networks. But I think you should focus just on one or two, but these two channels should be the essential ones to reach your potential clients. Less is more in communication, you know that. Although human minds try to diversify, try to think that if you've got a presence in different channels, your opportunity or chances to gain new clients will increase. But in general, it's more important to be focused, to concentrate your efforts in just one or two, or why not three. In my case, I basically focus on LinkedIn, although I've got also presence on Twitter.
Thank you. And we have a good timing. We have additional minutes if there will be still some questions. We can wait for a couple of minutes. Should one do advertisement on social media?
The same. It depends on your strategy. In general, it's not a priority from my experience, in general, but everything depends on your strategy. For me, the key thing with your personal branding is to define quality content, write it with effective communication messages, and try to publish or communicate them in the key channels, in prestigious channels. But I insist again on that. Everything depends on your strategy. Maybe if you are focused on individuals, so why not? You could try to advertise and wait for the response for the return of your actions. Why not? But for me, it's not a priority in general. Yeah.
So seems that probably that's all. Thank you, participants. Special thank you to you, Christiana, to being active. It's always very appreciated. People have questions and can keep the presentation and the webinar like live. Thank you very much, Francesc, for you. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I'm already connected with you on LinkedIn.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you, and thank you so much as well to the attendants. Thank you so much.
Alex, you want to comment something?
I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, you can leave now. In some seconds, I will just stop the presentation and everybody will be logged out. Once again, thank you, Francesc, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to you. Bye.